So let's take a look at things from the Democrat side. First of all, Bernie, I mean, the idea that Bernie is a Democrat socialist as opposed to a communist is just a complete nonsense. Here's a cut that came out over the weekend, an old cut, and these are going to continue to come out because we know who Bernie is, an old cut of Bernie on 60 Minutes talking about the revolution in Cuba. This is cut 19.
We're very opposed to the authoritarian nature of Cuba. But, it's unfair to simply say everything is bad. When Fidel Castro came into office, you know what he did? He had a massive literacy program. Is that a bad thing? Even though Fidel Castro did it?
There's a lot of dissidents imprisoned in Cuba.
That's right, and we condemn that.
Crazy Bernie. He is one crazy dude.
Yeah, but that's like the old joke about Mussolini making the trains run on time. Yeah, he imprisoned a lot of people, but they could read. He imprisoned them and he shot them, but they could read when they died. It was good. When they gave them the execution paper, they said, hey, I can, and then they were gone. But they could read when they were gone. I mean, that's the kind of thing he's saying. And, he's always saying that what he wants is Denmark. But somebody, I think it was Carol Markowitz of the New York Post, tweeted and said, he's never been to Denmark. He's been to the Soviet Union, never been to Denmark. Talked up Castro, has never gone to Denmark and said, here's the policy I want. He said, I met a guy in Denmark once. So, it's not real. It is not real what he's talking about. This guy is, in fact, a tyrant. Here's another cut of him talking about the cost of his programs. This is cut 18.
Do you have a price tag for all of this?
We do. I mean, the price tag is... It will be substantially less than letting the current system go. I think it's about $30 trillion.
That's just for Medicare for all.
Just Medicare for all. Yes.
Do you have a price tag for all of these things?
No, I don't. We try to. No.
So the guy is a total loon. It's $30 trillion. And remember, whenever they say it's going to be cheaper than what we're spending now, what they mean is everybody together spending this money is going to be cheaper than that. But the money does not belong to him. The money belongs to the people who make it. This is the thing that's the problem. They have the Ayn Rand wrote a book where they had to, where a dysfunctional dystopia had to rediscover the word I because everybody was referred to as we, right? And that is Bernie's slogan, not I, us, right? And that's his slogan. It is a classic socialism. The problem with that is why do you work? Why do people work? They work to earn. They work to make their lives better. They're inspired to make their lives better. The people who are more inspired do more. The people who are more ambitious do more and get more rewards. If they don't get more rewards, there's no point in being ambitious. And so those ambitions go by the boards. That's what happens in every single socialist country ever. That's why the Prime Minister of Denmark is out there going, no, we're not socialists, don't call us that. But the real problem for the Democrats is not what Bernie Sanders says, it's what Pete Buttigieg said after the Nevada primaries. This is the caucuses. This is cut 17.
This is important. We share these ideals, but I believe the best way to defeat Donald Trump and deliver for the American people is to broaden and galvanize the majority that supports us on the critical issues. Senator Sanders believes in an inflexible, ideological revolution that leaves out most Democrats. I believe we need to defeat Donald Trump and turn the page on this era in our politics by establishing a tone of belonging, bringing an end to the viciousness and the bullying that is tearing apart our country. We must change what it feels like to live in the United States of America. And that is a real difference from Senator Sanders' revolution with the tenor of combat and division and polarization, leading to a future where whoever wins the day, nothing changes the toxic tone of our politics.
Now, let's just unpack that for just a minute. He starts by saying we share his ideals. We share his ideals. The problem is the tone, right? First of all, have you ever noticed that nothing Pete Buttigieg says means anything? I mean, the words just keep coming out of his mouth, and you're going like, I'm here to see the words. I see your mouth moving, and I hear the words, but I do not know what you were saying. But what he is saying is, it's the tone. It's the tone. We need a tone that's inclusive as we take all your rights away. We need a tone that's nice as we replace the magic of capitalism, which has lifted all of us into greater wealth so that even the poor among us are living at the level of the middle class in the 1980s. That's an amazing fact, okay? It's an amazing fact that poor people have iPhones, poor people have television sets, poor people are suffering from obesity, which is the first time in history that's happened. All that is capitalism. All that is capitalism. And yes, capitalism can come along with some programs and some safety nets and all that stuff. Nothing is absolute in this world, and no philosophy, no system is going to override the corruption and foolishness of the human heart. There's always got to be some breaks, and there's always got to be some bookends and all this stuff. But what Pete Buttigieg said is the problem with the Democrat Party, is all they're talking about is tone, and people do rise above that. And this is my problem. This is my problem with the suburban women who criticize Donald Trump. And what Clint Eastwood said, too. I mean, I disagreed with Eastwood on this, is that, he's a libertarian. I'm more of a conservative. But the tone does matter. I think it matters the way you talk to people. I think it matters to women even more than it matters to men. Men are a little bit more roughshod, and they do like blunt talk, and they think of it as a sign of strength and all this stuff. But it does matter how you talk to people. It does make a difference. Facts may not care about your feelings, but people care about their feelings, and people, that's, your inner life, and your inner life is what life is all about. Tone does matter. But it doesn't matter more than policy. And in the end, if your tone is a pleasant tone selling bad policy, that is worse. That is worse than if you have a bad tone, but you're doing good policy, which is what Trump's got going on. I hope you enjoyed that clip from The Andrew Klavan Show. If you did, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you stay up to date on all our future content.